A student asked me, how do you make a curved form? Not a box or a rectangular kind of piece, but a curved form. So I'll go ahead and make a curved form. It's basically the same as a cube or box, but more difficult. You take some paper and cut or draw a shape that you like. You can fold it and cut through it, and then you see, okay, that looks interesting. You bring it up with some tape, try it out in the paper before you move to tar paper. And I would say I tried thin tar paper here, those two dark forms, that's thin tar paper. The thick, heavy-duty tar paper works better. So give it a try first with paper. And then if you like it, move on to tar paper. So now I've chosen this three-faceted shape that I want to make, and I lay it out on the clay. Give extra space around the edge for cutting like a tab of clay all around the edge where you're going to connect it to your other piece. That helps. It works better than say a coil. And when you're applying the pieces of tar paper, wet the side scrub some water on. You know, the tar resists water, so you want to scrub water onto one side, and then lay it on the clay and really crush it into the clay and squeeze all the air bubbles out and get it so that it actually is stuck to the clay. And you can test that to see if it really is one with the clay. If it seems like it's not entirely stuck to the clay, then what I do is, after I compress, push the tar paper into the clay, I bring clay up and over the tar paper. We'll show you that here. So here I'm pulling the clay up and over the tar paper, but you'll notice something. I haven't left enough room to make the tabs that I normally place along the edge. That's a mistake. When you do it, lay your pieces of tar paper with about half an inch or more of space, no, an inch between each of the pieces of tar paper, okay? So that you can cut out a special extra tab that you'll use instead of a coil to bring the pieces together. So lay your pieces of tar paper out about an inch apart from each other. Give yourself room. You can see I'm cutting with an extra tab along the edge there. That's what you want. But here on this side, there's no room to make the extra tab. So we'll see how I manage that. I'm thinking, oh no, what did I do? Also, use heavy-duty tar paper. That's important. And which I didn't hear. These two bigger curvaceous pieces are thin tar paper. And if you can, like a form that is big enough so that you can get your hand inside to work on those edges, you know, the seams, and bring those together. So those are some things to remember. Now, I'm ripping through this, bringing it up together. It's nice if you have a brick, perhaps, a brick to support the piece, like a third hand. And you can see that if you don't get that tar paper really stuck to the clay, it kind of peels off. You need it stuck to the clay because it's offering support for that soft out of the bag clay. Now, because I didn't put any, I didn't put a tab, so now I'm retrofitting a tab with clay, a coil of clay, that I'm squishing off the edge there, so that I can use that to join my pieces. You can see it there. I don't put the coil in. I'm going to have to put some coils in afterwards, but I do it this way first, so that it makes it easier to bring the two pieces of clay up and join them. This is a whole lot harder than doing a box. Whew. And you see, with porcelain, you make that join really broad and long. You see that? As long as you can. Beautiful. Okay, that's probably going to work. A little extra, take it off. There we go. And there's our last piece, the third piece. And we're on our way up. So now if you don't make a tab, you can retrofit it and add an extra clay to the edge there, and we're ready. Ready to bring these three pieces together and make a, I guess it'll be a vase. So now I'm getting set up to put these all together. I've got my scrub brush for brushing the edges, getting some water on them. This is the same set of tar paper templates, and that was what the piece looked like when it was set up. I've got a brick to help me, so that hopefully it's not too difficult getting these three pieces together. A little bit of water, scrub down the edges, and then pull them together. Yeah. This is when you wish you had the third hand. Whoa! Go. Collapsing at the bottom. Yeah. It will work. And if this were heavy-duty tar paper, it would be easier. You notice that the walls of the clay are pretty thin. I did that on purpose because I thought that with the less weight, the tar paper could hold it up. And I'm working on those seams. If you had a piece that was more open, it would be much easier to get in and work on those seams once you put that third piece of tar paper, the third facet on. It's going to be something I can only do with a tool. Now I use my brick for support. It's a very heavy porcelain brick, which is really helpful. Next, the base. I've got a slab there, and then I sit my my two-sided piece right on there, and I make marks where I want that edge to be. Using the third facet to give me an idea how far apart that foot should be. Okay, there I go. And when I get it where I want it, I make a mark. And because this thing is so floppy, I'm putting some extra clay right there where it just keeps flopping. Oh. Then I cut it. And I'm putting some coils on the inside for starters to bring the bottom and the facets together. You can see that. It is definitely more difficult than a cube. Right, there we go. Smush that way out. Now, how to hold it up. And get the third slab on there. And I put a coil in there because I know I'm not going to be able to get in. So I put this coil down at the base to help bring the two together. Whoa. Now, it was really difficult getting this third coil on there, and there was a spot where I made like a porthole, and then I covered it with a slab. It's kind of like there was a window, and I closed it with a curtain of clay. Whoa! What a mess. But it works. Maybe after you see this, you're not going to want to try this technique. However, on the other hand, I thought, well, perhaps it's a good thing to see Kathleen wrestling with the clay here. Yeah. All right, so here we're moving through this, and I am getting it up together. There's one spot there where I couldn't bring the two facets together, so I just put a clay over it. And then I take the top paper off and go to work on that piece where, like, see, here we go. You take the top paper off, reinforce that curve there, bring the bottom up so you're sure that you really do have a base attached and the porcelain moving across there. So everything is up and together. Yeah. And then I put the tar paper back down on there because it supports the clay, and it also means that when I use my tool on it, I can make more of a plane. And I don't really want the tool marks to show. So the tar paper helps with that. Whoa. Now, I've closed the top here, so I've got an air bubble inside. That makes it a little bit stronger. But what I'm going to do next is take that stick in there, and then attach the stick to the clay. And that's going to keep it standing up. Yeah, there we go. Now we're on our way, and I can take the tar paper off, bring the clay up together, finesse the form. We're good. Now I'm ready to quit for the day. I have to put my brick up there and the other form that I made with the same tar paper mold to keep this piece standing up while it dries down a bit.
Yeah.